Alright guys, okay, so today, first of all, before I even start with today, I just wanted to basically say hey, and also just say, like, I'm sorry for the late post of this video because I've been busy trying to basically just come up with what to say and what to write out and what to like explain to you guys. But basically this video is about addictions, and when I talk about addictions, I don't just mean the normal kind of let's say weed or coke or anything like that. Well, not or anything like that, including those things. I mean addictions in general. So this video today is about addictions, why addictions start, and how to kind of break through, overcome, just manage your addiction, just beat your addiction, do whatever it is that you want to do with your addiction, to gain whatever you want to gain, hopefully something positive. But yeah, so with addictions, they usually start as a way to cope with some sort of trauma, something that's happened to you that's been distraughting, something that's been very traumatic. Yeah, that creates a lot of emotion. But basically with one sec, I'm gonna edit that out because I need to read a book. Sorry, I wrote stuff down. Yeah, so usually with your addictions, they're not the actual problem. Surprisingly. The problem is the cause of the addiction, which usually stems from something else, and usually it relates to kind of where your grounding is from, so where you gain anxiety from or where you gain your stability from. Because if you're unstable, you're in a state of anxiety because you're unsure, you feel unsure, you don't know how to deal with the feeling of unsureness, and you stress and you worry, and becomes a cycle of shit, right? A shitstorm. So yeah, when you're dealing with your addictions, you need to kind of figure out what has caused it, and you need to figure out when and why. So when it started, so reflecting back on your past, or you know, just kind of on your life, and think about when, and what occurred and why that occurred. And when I say why, I mean, why did you choose that method of addiction to kind of help you with whatever it is you needed help with at that time? Because that's what addictions are. They're a method of coping, so they do have a positive effect, but obviously when you overuse it, becomes something not good, right? Anyway, but yeah, addictions are kind of like habits in some sense, because you can have a positive habit that will help you to gain, and you can have a negative habit that can take away from your quality of living, which is facts. So it's kind of about, it's about finding the balance between something that helps you to maintain your sanity, I would say. Because you know, like, you can be addicted to your phone, or to cannabis, or to social media, or to like buying clothes, shit like that, you know. Whatever it is, an addiction is an addiction, something you use to bring you back to calm you down, basically. That's how I see it. So yeah, when planning to overcome an addiction, the main thing to think about is, first of all, the understanding of why you have the addiction is important, because you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't understand why, then how do you manage it? Because you will just keep trying and you won't succeed. You have to understand first. You have to show some level of compassion towards yourself while dealing with yourself in that state. So understanding is important. Second thing that would be important would be management of that addiction. So depending on what's happening in your life, you'd have to find a way of kind of balancing it out. So for example, let's say you're somebody who, you know, you work a lot and your phone is your stress relief. You can't be on your phone all day all day at work. You can't. So you have to manage how you use your phone, because you wouldn't want to, let's say you're a doctor and you're doing surgery, you would not have your phone in that surgery because that's not hygienic. Yeah, so that's not a good idea. What else is there? Yeah, so it's about management of how you use that addiction or that coping mechanism, understanding that it's not supposed to destroy your quality of living, it's only supposed to enhance, because most things are tools and you can use most things effectively without causing damage. Not to say that I advocate for addictions, because I'm not saying, you know, go and do whatever, but at the same time, proper usage of whatever it is that you're using is important, especially if you want to beat the addiction, and especially if you're somebody who is trying to balance out whatever it is that you're using as well. So the management is very crucial. So yeah, understanding management and being patient with yourself as well is important, because the reason why you picked up this addiction or this thing or coping mechanism in the first place was because it helped you to manage yourself and manage whatever it was that you had to cope with. So it's not, you can't look at it as the enemy. So patience is required in that sense, because it was something good for a while. You have to look at the positive and then also look at the negative, weigh up the pros and cons, and then decide, you know, what's your next step going to be. So yeah, that's another thing as well. When it comes to addiction, the main thing you want to do is be conscious of what you're doing and conscious of the choices and the decisions that you're making, because that's how you come back into alignment with your direction per se. Yeah, so for example, if I was to recommend what to do to help with addictions, I would definitely first of all start with getting you guys to do some root chakra meditation. The root chakra meditation is quite good because it is about reducing your anxiety, reducing your anxiety and your stress. Yeah, and you can find that on YouTube as well. Like, just type in root chakra meditation, and then just listen to the sound and let that work, because the sound again affects the vibration of yourself. So listen to that. What else is there? And what you'll find is that over time, what you'll find is that the feeling of the anxiety, the internal feeling that you get, which is kind of like the, you know, the sensations in the pit of your stomach of kind of like, that's how it feels to me. That will reduce, because you will know how to like ride the flow of that feeling, so it no longer creates that wave of not over emotion, but or make the worry of what that emotion will bring. You will just know what's coming and be able to transmute the energy so you can use it in a focused way if you want to, aka alchemy. And also I'd probably say if you do that for a while, for like maybe just for a while, do it every day, and also as well do all of your chakras up to your crown chakra. That's so important, because what that does when you meditate on your chakras as well, it basically allows for energetic alignment. So inside your body you have these energy centers that basically help you to turn up as your best self, right? So when you meditate on these different energy points, it kind of restores what was taken out. So for example, I'm talking now a lot. This will affect my throat chakra, but I've meditated on my throat chakra, so I'll be able to express myself and not feel like I'm losing energy in terms of being able to communicate. But yeah, so when you meditate on all of your energy centers, it will help to kind of realign your focus. Realigning your focus is important because it means that you'll become more conscious of your choices and obviously make better choices, because you're slowing down to really pay attention, which is important. Obviously I know that you can't meditate all day throughout the day if you're working and stuff, but at the same time it's not an excuse. You can make the time. There are meditations that are like very short, 10 minutes. You can do it in the morning, you could do it in the evening, you can make time. And right now as well, it's very important because we need to be in a clear mind headspace. We need to be in a clear headspace as people in the world, because so that we can just make good choices and be happy and just be whatever it is that you want to be, I suppose, is what I'm saying. But yeah, the idea behind addictions and beating addictions is, number one, addictions are caused by trauma. So if you see someone that has an addiction, don't judge them, just understand that there's a reason why that person has that addiction. Bam. Number two, understanding is important, because understanding why that person has that addiction means that you won't look at them sideways or anything. You will just understand and allow, you know, connection. Number three, patience. Being patient with people who have addictions is important, because again, the understanding will allow for the patience, because you will know that that person is not necessarily choosing all the way to be that way because of first choice. Is more to do with the trauma, and the trauma is the most important, not the most important part, but the thing that needs the most attention. So take your time with people who have addictions. And number four is management of that addiction. So knowing that that person is able to manage themselves, manage their environment without affecting the quality of their living or their life is the most important thing. If they can prove that they can do that, or if they can show that they are able to do that, then, you know, that means that they're managing their addiction okay. But if they want to get to a point where they're no longer using that addiction as a coping mechanism, that is that person's choice, because free will is a thing. But not just free will alone. They just have to follow that process. First, you know, understanding, reflecting, being patient, and then also as well, just managing yourself. You know, that's all it is. But the reason why I wanted to make this video about addictions is because addictions are a thing. You may not think it's an addiction, but it's a way of coping with whatever's going on. And especially right now is a big time for addictions, because everybody's felt suppressed somewhat. So whether, you know, you feel like your addiction is a big one or a small one, or not a one, you know, just meditate. First of all, meditate, and after you meditate on a regular basis, take a look, become the observer of your life, so you can become more conscious of the things that you're doing, so you can then, you know, see where the improvement is needed. Because again, there's always room for improvement, there's always room to grow. Growth is the only thing that is constant. Even if, you know, like, even if you're 105, you still can grow, unless you're not hair anymore. So as long as you're hair, you can improve, is what I'm saying, innit? But yeah, like, subscribe, you know, show love, and if you need any help with anything, hit me up on Instagram. If you need help with anything, shout me, in it. Love and light.